Venezuela, the Minister of the Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, informed on Wednesday that 11 people have been arrested for the attack against the national electricity system perpetrated on August 30th. In the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the first MPOX vaccines are due to arrive on Thursday. And in Palestine, Israeli troops killed 5 Palestinian citizens in the occupied West Bank on Thursday amid an airstrike on Tubas. Hello and welcome to From the South. My name is Belén de los Santos, and from the teleSUR studios in Havana, Cuba, we begin with the news. In Venezuela on Wednesday, the Minister of the Interior, Justice and Peace, Diosdado Cabello, during his television program Con el Mazo Dando, informed that 11 people have been arrested for the attack against the national electricity system perpetrated on August 30th. The attack, which affected the entire national territory, would be linked to the leader of the extreme opposition, Maria Corina Machado, and her sponsors in Washington. The minister points specifically to U.S. legislator Marco Rubio, a historical collaborator in the Latin American extreme right wing. Cabello said that those captured are a total of 11, among whom he distinguished saboteurs and terrorists. He also emphasized that this week the Committee of Victims of Fascism will be organized to tell the truth to the world about the violent groups led by the Venezuelan ultra-right and what they are doing.
We are going to organize this week to organize in all of Venezuela the front of the Committee of Victims of Fascism. Committee of Victims of Fascism, we're going to organize ourselves, and we are going to tell the world what the delinquent Sayona and her combo are doing against the people of Venezuela. Committee of Victims of Fascism, because we're organizing ourselves on Thursday. Tomorrow is Thursday, right? And we are going to organize ourselves because we have to be organized for everything. Thank you.
Likewise, Diosdado Cabello condemned the interference on the part of the Colombian Foreign Minister, Luis Murillo, assuring that he responds to the interests of U.S. imperialism.
This is for the imperialists, for those who believe that Venezuela is a colony. We are not going to put up with anything from anyone, because there is a man with the last name of Murillo, Colombian Foreign Minister Murillo, right? Murillo seems to be Morrillo, Monteverde. Yes. They betrayed even their own origins for their level of surrender or their level of subjugation. This gentleman thinks he can come and stick his nose in Venezuela. He is the foreign minister of Colombia, but in reality, he is not the one of Colombia. He is the foreign minister of the United States in Colombia. He is an official of the government of the United States all his life.
And the president of Venezuela, Nicolás Maduro, informed that the country is already preparing for Christmas, encouraging the initiatives of commerce and the population in general. Let's go with the details.
Stores are slowly starting to get ready for the holiday season. This retail, decoration and houseware store already has all the trimmings. On the streets, the mood is beginning to lift.
Hallacas, pan de jamón, whatever, we enjoy it.
Como sea, la disfrutamos.
As we do every year, saving a little bit to be able to celebrate in December.
As in previous years, the president of Venezuela announced that as of October the 1st, all public squares and institutions will go into Christmas mode.
It smells like Christmas, and that is why this year, in homage to you, in gratitude to you, I am going to decree that Christmas will be brought forward to October 1st. Christmas begins on October 1st for all of us. Christmas arrived with peace, happiness, and security.
Christmas is one of the favorite times of the Venezuelan people. The gaitas, traditional music, announce its arrival, and all the culinary traditions are activated. Hallacas, torta negra, and pan de jamón, among others, each bakery or home baker has its own recipe.
We give ourselves the pleasure of making it the way we want it. As such, at home we can add more, less. We made it in different ways, with malt, without malt, according to your taste, your palate.
On the streets, merchants and citizens prepare with products and offers for the end of the year.
I think it is very good because this way we will be able to advance little by little for that date in December.
We are encouraged, waiting for the best month for the sale, the best month, waiting to put the promotions, so that people are encouraged, by their new clothes, waiting for that month with eagerness.
One of the challenges for the last months of the year is to increase consumption capacity, which would also increase the figures for trade and other items.
Oil is Venezuela's main export item. It is the one that in some way continues to leverage the Venezuelan economy. Nevertheless, in Venezuela today there are already other non-oil products that have begun to be exported from Venezuela. We can talk about coffee, cocoa, and other items, including seafood products. We are strengthening the industry in Venezuela for exports. This is a change of model.
The Venezuelan economy is preparing to finish off the year, in line with the good figures it has been showing, with over 8% growth, the highest in the region.
Now let's take a short break, but remember you can join us on TikTok at teleSUR English, where you will find news in different formats, news updates, and much more. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back from the south. In Brazil, more than 1,000 localities are on alert due to low humidity levels as the country faces the worst drought in its history and fires continue to rage. The dryness in the environment affects close to 1,000 localities, especially in the capital, Brasilia, and regions of the states of São Paulo, Minas Gerais, as well as Mato Grosso, Mato Grosso do Sul, and Goiás, posing a great risk of forest fires and health damages. Precisely in these localities, the National Institute of Meteorology registered a relative air humidity of less than 12%, which is below the recommendations of the World Health Organization and comparable to those of deserts like the Sahara. In Honduras, on Wednesday, the government extradited Mario Calix, former vice mayor of the National Party, to the United States on charges of drug trafficking and other serious crimes. In response to a court order, Mario Calix, also known by the alias of Cubetas, was transferred by a Special Forces commando to a Comayagua air base, where he was handed over to agents of the United States Drug Enforcement Administration, the DEA. In this way, the government honors the commitments made in the framework of a treaty currently in effect, in the midst of serious diplomatic tensions between Washington and Tegucigalpa due to Ambassador Laura Dogu's interference. And Haiti extends the state of emergency to fight off violent criminal groups across the whole country. This way, Prime Minister Gary Conille's spokesperson, Jean-Luc Desaguste, assured that stretching the state of emergency will allow to secure the nation in the current context. The announcement comes a day earlier before the expected visit to the country of the U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken. Furthermore, the spokesperson said that the decision will facilitate allocating materials and weapons for the army and police to recover territories controlled now by criminal groups. In other news, in the United States, a new shooting took place at a high school, leaving 4 people dead and at least 30 wounded. The shooting that lasted for a couple of hours occurred this Wednesday at the Appalachian High School in the city of Winder in the state of Georgia. According to a press release from the Barrow County Sheriff's Office, the police managed to arrest the suspect, and the exact number of wounded is still unknown. The victims nor the detainee have been identified so far, so official statements from the authorities are expected. The White House issued messages of condolences to the families of the deceased while condemning the events and calling for a stricter legislation on weapons.
Never in a million years would I think it would happen here. But unfortunately, that's the times that we're living in. It's unreal. As I was coming here, the whole town just has this weird, eerie feeling now.
You know, I think we're going to hurt for a very long time. I think we're going to grieve for a very long time. I hope it will bring our community closer together.
And we stay in the United States as the government imposed visa restrictions on the Russian news agency Russia Today, RT, and its subsidiaries after accusing them of alleged covert influence operations. In a statement, the Secretary of State Antony Blinken pointed out that the new restrictive measures also affect the director of the RT group, Margarita Simoniana, and the RIA Novosti, TV Novosti, Sputnik, and Ruptly media groups. The U.S. Secretary also explained that these new measures are a joint government response to Russia's alleged attempts to interfere in the 2024 presidential elections. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York also filed indictments against 2 RT employees for allegedly violating the U.S. Foreign Agent Restriction Act and conspiring to commit money laundering. And in other news, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, the first MPOX vaccines are due to arrive on Thursday. The African Union Health Agency announced on Wednesday that a first delivery of nearly 100,000 doses of MPOX vaccines is expected to arrive in the Republic of the Congo, the country worst hit by this epidemic. According to the Congolese Health Ministry, the country has registered more than 19,000 cases and 650 deaths since the beginning of this year. In addition, 62% of the confirmed cases affect children. So far, the epidemic is present in 13 countries, including Burundi, Congo, Brazzaville, and Central Africa. The World Health Organization indicated in late August that approximately 230,000 doses of vaccine produced by the Danish pharmaceutical laboratory Bavarian Nordic were immediately available to the regions affected by the virus. And we have a second short break coming up, but before we invite you to visit our YouTube channel at teleSUR English. There you will be able to rewatch our interviews, top stories, special broadcastings, and more. Hit the subscribe button and activate the notification bell to stay up to date on the world's most recent events. Final short break, don't go away. Welcome back to From the South. In Palestine, Israeli troops killed 5 Palestinian citizens in the occupied West Bank on Thursday amid an airstrike in Tubas. The area located in the northeast was brutally bombed by an anti-terrorist operation. The 5 young men killed were in a vehicle that was hit by an airstrike. Bombing took place as Zionist troops stormed the Farah refugee camp south of Tubas, where they also shot a Palestinian who survived the attack. In this context, the West Bank health authorities confirmed the admission of more than 20 wounded amid a brutal attack. And in Syria, an Iranian delegation headed by the mayor of Tehran arrived in Damascus on Wednesday to attend the opening of Expo Syria 2024, the largest Syrian export fair. A visit which, in addition to participation in the event, is for the purpose of signing a brotherhood agreement between the capitals of the two friendly nations. Let's see.
The Iranian missive held meetings with the Syrian Minister of Economy and Foreign Trade, the Syrian Minister of Local Administration, and the governors of Damascus and Damascus Camp. During these meetings, it was agreed to establish projects of interest to both countries, hold joint fairs of export products, finalize the Brotherhood Agreement between Damascus and Tehran, and activate the Iranian participation in the reconstruction process of the areas destroyed by terrorism in Syria.
Today, we are going through new circumstances that imply opening a new chapter of cooperation between Syria and Iran, which are two countries with great resources that we must take advantage of by taking steps to develop relations and consolidate cooperation. With the signing of the Brotherhood Agreement between Tehran and Damascus that allows us to develop joint activities in various fields, such as economy, trade, transportation, public services, reconstruction, social and cultural fields.
The mayor of Tehran attended as a special guest, along with the entourage he heads, the opening ceremony of the fair, XMPOX Syria 2024. A participation that demonstrates the Persian nation's interest in developing cooperation with Syria in the industrial, economic and commercial sectors in defiance of Western coercive measures unilaterally imposed on both allied countries.
Iranians and us, we are two united peoples who complement each other in all fields, and today it was highlighted in this fair that our products are in great demand in the Iranian markets, as much as the Iranian raw material is in great demand here. As for example the plastic products industry that depends on Iranian raw material, and as for example our textile industry is in great demand in Iran, so we complement each other in the industrial field and we will be successful.
We have overcome many difficulties resulting from the war and the blockade, with great determination, hard work and great faith in a better future, because since 2018 the factories and companies began to recover their productive potential, and each year that passes is better than the previous one, so that we go with firm steps recovering the good level of the industrial sector of the country, and proof of this the products exhibited at this fair.
Despite the difficulties and limitations resulting from the Western economic blockade, Syria, with the support of friendly countries such as Iran, is making progress in the post-war recovery process. A reality that is evidenced by the organization of this fair for a period of 5 days and over an area of 50,000 square meters, with the participation of 3,000 foreign businessmen and traders and 600 local companies from the food, pharmaceutical and textile industries, among others.
And Chinese President Xi Jinping has offered more than $50 billion to finance key projects in Africa, in addition to authorizing special conditions for exports to his country from the African continent. The Chinese government will continue to work with the African countries to promote the development of the Chinese-African Cooperation Forum, which is taking place in Beijing, the capital of the country. More than 50 African leaders are attending this important meeting, which adopted the Beijing Declaration on building a Chinese-African community with a shared future in the new era. From now on, 33 African countries that maintain diplomatic relations with China will be able to export goods and products at a zero tariff rate. The Chinese president added in a meeting with the Secretary General of the United Nations, Antonio Guterres, who is attending the forum, that he is willing to increase cooperation with the continent. And we go now to culture, as in Chile, the 14th edition of the Women's Film Festival kicked off. Let's see.
This year's edition will be held until September 8th in the capital, Santiago. The event will offer a selective sample of works, both national and international, from at least 10 countries. The opening gala featured the screening of the Italian-Swiss film Gloria by Margherita Vicario, which takes place in 1800 in an old and decrepit musical institute for girls somewhere near Venice. where its students will create new music that will surprise the visiting Pope and the whole world.
Fuori di qui nessuno vorrà ascoltare la tua musica. Tu non servi a niente, a nessuno. Una promessa che faccio a me stessa. Io mi riprendo quello che mi hai portato via.
The closing gala will feature the American film The Substance by Coralie Fargeet, which premiered at the 77th edition of the Confestival, where it was the winner for Best Screenplay. The feature film focuses on a revolutionary product based on cell division, which is consumed by a woman who wants to be younger, more beautiful, and perfect. However, it will trigger a series of events.
A perfect balance of 7 days each. The one and only thing not to forget. You are one. You can't escape from yourself.
There's been a slight misuse of the substance.
In addition to these films, the Women's Film Festival 2024 will also include award-winning feature and short fiction, documentary, and animation films, which will be organized in different sections and focuses according to their category. The event will take place in 8 venues in the city of Santiago, including the National Film Library, the Cultural Center of Spain in Chile, the Nicanor Parra Library of the Diego Portales University, and the Ñuñoa Culture House, among others.
La Casa de la Cultura de Ñuñoa, entre otras. And like this, we have come to the end of this news brief. You can find this and many other stories on our website at telesurenglish.net. And also join us on social media. We are on Facebook, X, Instagram, Telegram, and TikTok. For TeleSUR English, my name is Belén de los Santos. Thank you for watching.